All right, people, we're here in Newcastle, of all places. This place here has been kind of like a second home to me, like a couple other places in the UK and in Europe. And the reason we're here is because there's an event going on called The Bridge. I'm a fan of what they're doing at The Bridge, so I figured I would get involved. I would come down and I would interview certain people to discuss what's going on. And who better to have than the guy who organizes the event? So sitting here with me is Sandy Duff. Do you want to take over? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what the event is all about.
Yeah, man. Well, it's great to have you here. Obviously, big fans, and you know, you've been a big support from day one with the Bridge stuff, coming up to the debut event and giving us any amount of support and guidance over the phone over the last few years. Much appreciated. So great to have you back in the tune. The tune loves you as much as you love the tune.
Oh.
And yeah, you know, really excited to have this happening this week. We've had graffiti artists up all week painting spots. We've pretty much took over the tune in that respect. And yeah, now we're heading into the weekend. We've got a full action-packed weekend. We've got live performances, we've got workshops, we've got demos, we've got film screenings, we've got panel talks. You name it, we've got it. We're representing the 4 pillars. We've got B-boys, B-girls, we've got DJs, we've got MCs, we've got writers, and just a lot more. So it's action-packed. We've got funding from the Arts Council, who have been a massive support in everything we're doing here at Method Lounge. And so yeah, so we've made the event free. We really want to celebrate hip-hop. It's 50 years of hip-hop this year. What better excuse do you need to have a party, you know? So we've just got some of our favourite MCs, some of our favourite DJs, and various other people up, and we're having a party all weekend long, 3 days of, you know, beats and burgers.
Before we get on to talking about the burgers, do you want to name some of the people that you got here? Because, like, I was downstairs and I was watching a little bit of graffiti going on, and there's a pretty impressive lineup of people that are here.
Yeah, absolutely buzzing. The lineup, like you say, it's pretty cool. I'm over the moon. I'm very blessed. Over the years, obviously, I've had other projects which you've been up to and visited, and been fortunate enough to build a good network within the graffiti scene and other scenes, but like, you know, in relation to that. So yeah, so when I said I'm doing this, I put a shout out to a lot of the artists we've worked with in the past, and I was blown away by the response. So we've had Inky up, we've had Soaker up, we've had Burning Candy up, we've got Girls on Top representing, we've got old school heads like Taz from Birmingham, we've got Mr. Z representing TTK, we've got some of the young guns who are like new on the scene but absolutely smashing it, like my man Mull. It's, you know, yeah, we're kind of rocking all those vibes. We've got like a lot of the old school graph heads, we've got some of the new kind of more street art kind of heads, and we're just, you know, bringing it all together. We've had a jam today, we had jams yesterday, we had jams the day before that. We've got a 2-day jam about to start on another site over at the Colours Wall. Big shout to Danny Vosp, who's been organising all that. Yeah, so you're right. We've had some brilliant artists, and we feel very blessed and fortunate to have had the support and just the amazing artwork that's gone up right across the city. Newcastle, I hope you realise how lucky you are. There's some dope new artwork all across the city.
You don't only focus on bringing people that are already established, but you also give others an opportunity, people that are just on their way up as well.
Yeah, it's really important. I feel like, you know, kind of the opposite of being a gatekeeper, where, you know, I kind of want to be the opposite of that. And I think anything that I'm doing, I want to create the opportunity for everyone to be involved. And like every event that we do, whether it's the Bridge Festival, whether it's Lindisfarne, which is the other big festival I'm involved with, whether it's the raves, the workshops, the projects that we're running, like there's multiple layers where people can get involved. So, you know, if you've got mad skills and you want to perform, we can kind of help you, we can give you mentorship, we can give you support, guidance, we can give you a platform, whether it's through Method Radio, whether it's through the events we're running, whether it's through links with 521 or other organisations that we work alongside. If you're just new and you're just excited by the music and the scene and you don't really necessarily want to be a performer or an artist, but you want to be there, you want to be involved in it, there's opportunities to come along, get involved. We're always running workshops and demos, and, you know, so no matter where you're at in your journey, we always want to try and make an opportunity for you, not just to come along and be an audience member, which is great, and everyone's welcome to do that, but to also give people the opportunity to be involved. Newcastle's got a wealth of talent, and it's one of the reasons I'm proud to be based in this city. We've got some amazing talent, both visual, musical, right across the board. And historically, we've lost out big time to places like London, You know, someone gets developed, someone gets some skills, someone gets some recognition, and next thing we know, they're moving to London. They've signed a deal, they're moving to London, and we lose all this talent. So it's really important that we try and create the platforms and the opportunities for the artists in the region and try and keep them in the region. We can't keep them in the region if there's not a scene that's strong enough to sustain them and having a livelihood in what they do. So we need to kind of address that. So that's hopefully what these events are starting to do, trying to create a platform that will grow and grow and grow and give creatives in the region the opportunity to showcase what they do, to get paid for what they do, and to work alongside established acts from not just across the UK, but across Europe and beyond, and really kind of get their mark and their name out there.
Just for people to understand the level of what you're doing as well, it's not all just about the performances and the events that you put on. There's stuff going on in these offices.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, the studios run 7 days a week, so obviously we've got the radio, we've got the events, we've got all that kind of stuff that people see outside, and you know, it's very obvious, and there's promotion and flyers and broadcasts. But the day-to-day stuff, we do a lot of engagement work, so we're working with people with variety of disabilities or diagnoses, or you know, people on the fringes of society, people who need a little bit extra support, and we run programs Monday to Friday right across the region. A lot of the delivery's based in this building where we've got the studios and we've got the spaces, which is great. So those people that are involved, those participants in those programs, benefit from coming into contact with artists and DJs and other people that we're working with through the station. But we're also out in the community working and creating those opportunities. Method Radio has been a great way of providing a platform for those types of communities. We go in, and not everyone wants to be a rapper, not everybody wants to be a drum and bass DJ. So we go into the communities and we help people to create podcasts, to create talk shows where they talk about the issues that are relevant to them. We teach them the skills, how to record it, how to edit it, how to master it. We show them how to broadcast, and so they learn practical skills, but they also have a lot of fun. But most importantly, they get an opportunity to have a platform to discuss what's on their hearts, and I think that's really important. So yeah, Monday to Friday, we're Stowed Under. We work closely with Inspired Support, which is a really cool organisation based in the northeast of England. They signpost a lot of students through us, but we've also got wider links with youth offending teams, youth services, schools, all that kind of thing. You know, where people need us, we'll be there.
And what's the connection with Method Radio and what you do with the events?
So, well, Method Lounge is me, and that's my company, and that's what I've done since the 90s. It started off as a mixtape, because Method Lounge, I thought was a cool name for a mixtape series. And then a few other guys were like, dude, you should totally turn that into a club night. So around early noughties, Method Lounge started becoming a club night, and it just kind of grew from there. So the Method name kind of sits across everything. So the education programs that we run are called Method Labs, not Meth Labs, Method Labs. And then we have the graffiti programs, which is Method Arts. We've got the radio, Method Radio, and we're about to launch a new label called Method Music. We'll be working with some amazing producers and musicians. So yeah, expect some new dope music landing soon there as well.
Just so everyone understands, you are not a business person that has walked into this and basically, in the words of some people out there, seeing you as a culture vulture. How long have you been involved in this, and what has been your involvement in all of this?
So I mean, I've been a DJ and and various other creative things that I do for over 30 years. I fell in love with DJing. Start of the 90s, was fortunate enough to get in there and gigging. And it wasn't until I had my daughter in 2001, and I kind of wanted to be at home more, and kind of perspective changed on things, and I didn't want to just be out gigging. I did all right gigging, didn't really sort of make loads of money, and what money I made usually got spent on the road, enjoying the life that I was having.
And burgers. And
a lot of burgers, yeah. And but when I had Emily, it kind of changed my perspective on things, and I wanted to kind of be based more at home. And I also, felt actually, for the first time, I feel like I've got a responsibility now to try and make sure that there is opportunities for the next generation. And I struggled. It wasn't very easy to kind of get into things. We didn't have social media. We didn't have all these platforms. It was quite hard and quite cliquey to get in and get performances, places, get regular gigs and stuff like that. So I felt like, actually, do you know what? Been doing this for a few years. I've got good connections. I've got a good reputation. I don't want to be out on the road all the time. Actually, here's an opportunity to make a difference in the place that I live. And so that was been my motivation. I don't really make a lot of money off what I do. I make enough to kind of tread water. I do kind of private work outside of this stuff, which kind of supplements my income. But the work that I do, which is the bulk of the work that I do, is just all about supporting the community. People say to us, oh, it's amazing how much you put into all this sort of stuff. And I say, well, no, man, actually, I think I'm a lazy person, right? And all I want is a happy life. I just want a stress-free, happy life. And I think I got to a point in my journey where I realized I'm only going to get a quiet, happy life if everyone I care about and everyone around us has a happy life too. So if I want to have that happy life, if I want to have that quiet life, I've got to try and make as many other people as happy as possible.
So just create opportunities for others.
That's it, yeah. And if everybody's happy, we're all happy. You know what I mean?
And talking of creating opportunities, let's just quickly have a conversation about Lindisfarne. So do you want to explain to people what that is?
So Lindisfarne is a big annual festival that runs up in Northumberland. It started off with kind of like an indie rock festival to begin with. I was brought in from the beginning as part of the core team, but my remit was more the experience element of stuff, so workshops and visual art and stuff like that. We sold about 1,000 tickets in the first year, and I said to the owner, dude, you know, give us a stage, give us a dance stage, let us do something here. I think we're missing a trick. So second year we introduced the dance stage, we've built that up. 2019 introduced the bridge stage and started bringing the hip hop in as well. And it's just built. Now we've got 3 sort of dance stages which are covering everything from hip hop, the jungle, drum and bass, rave, house, techno. And that's just the dance elements. Then we've still got all the other big indie stuff this year. We've got Primal Scream coming up, which I'm, really excited about. We've got Pendulum headlining on the Saturday, which was going to be incredible. All the drum and bass heads very excited, but also all the rock and metal fans very excited because Pendulum are coming. They're doing the full live metal show. That's what we're going to get from them. So it's going to be incredible fusion of metal and drum and bass stuff. So yeah, it's grown and grown, but you're right, part of that has also been about creating opportunities. So being very careful to make sure that, we rotate the local acts to make sure everyone's getting an opportunity to be alongside the bigger acts that we're bringing in from further afield. I created shadowing programs so young people with an interest in getting into promotion, getting into events, could get work placements to come and shadow me, both in the lead up to the events, but also on site, see what it takes to be a stage manager, see what it takes to be a runner, see what it takes to be an artist liaison, all that kind of stuff, and kind of give people that experience, because it's quite hard to get into the industry, and it's even harder if you don't have experience. So we thought, well, let's give these young people an opportunity to get that experience, and hopefully that'll further their own journey.
Do you want to give a small list of some of the big artists that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, it's right across the board. So yeah, we've had Dizzy Rascal, we've had Rudimental, we've had Fabio and Groove Rider, DJ Rap, a lot of the big sort of name, a lot of old school legends, that I grew up on the old school, so I've been blessed to bring in people like Shades of Rhythm. We've got Alternate this year, which I've been wanting to get Alternate up for a long time. Big shouts to DJ Nex. Yeah, we've had, other flip side, we've had Madness, Dub Pistols, we've had Groove Armada. Groove Armada was sensational live show. Yeah, and then we've got we've got Shanty B, holistic area, so there's lots of kind of chill out and dubbier kind of vibes this year. We've got Raj Panu, who's technically a local guy but lives in Greece now, but people may know him better as the tour DJ for Cold Cut, one of the Ninja Tune crew. So absolutely buzzing to be bringing him back to the Northeast. A bit of a home gig for him, although he may be in Greece these days. It's always going to be home. So yeah, just vibes, man. So much different stuff. We've got punk, we've got rock, we've got dance, right across the board.
So you're a perfect example of somebody who is a fan of the culture, not just hip hop, but music in general and the creativity side of things and whatever. And you've taken nothing and you've made it into not just something, but something amazing, really.
Well, me, with support of a lot of other people, I mean, no man's an island, and I have put a lot of work into the stuff that I do, but I've also been blessed to be surrounded by a lot of inspirational and creative people, both locally and further afield. So I mean, people such as yourself, who kind of really feed into what I'm doing, whether it's acting as a sounding board, giving us advice, all that kind of stuff, to actual hands-on practical people more in the region. A lot of the local businesses have been really supportive. I've had a good track record in terms of engagement. People see that we're not only putting on parties, but we're actually creating opportunities and supporting people in the region. So a lot of local businesses and a lot of funding, people have kind of got alongside. Historically, we've benefited a lot from youth music, who've been a big supporter when we had the Archers project, which you visited when we first launched the bridge. Sadly gone now, but that was a great project, and we had a lot of support from, you know, National Lottery and youth music in particular. Yeah, it's, you know, I feel blessed. I don't know how I can say. People say, how do you manage to do what you do? Can you come and give a talk? And I kind of feel like I can't give talks on how to do it because I don't know how I've done it. Like, I've just been really lucky that I've just been in the right places at the right time with the right people, and I've said the right things and people have connected with it, and we've just run with it.
And the right personality. Like, you know, ever since I've met you, all I see is a person who's like really good-hearted. And whenever we have conversations, it's never about me. There's always other people in the equation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, your first priority is, right, who's going to benefit from bringing a bigger name, and then that little person can benefit from being on the same stage from that bigger person that's on that stage. And
I think one of the things that really excites me is collaboration. I love seeing things happen. I guess I kind of see myself sometimes as a creative matchmaker, and I like to see someone, I go, you know what, imagine if that person there linked with that person there, that could be magical, that, you know. And so I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I can make those links and I can introduce people. So I feel it's like a responsibility really to kind of try and do those things. And when it happens, and when the magic comes out of it, you know, you know it's a worthwhile thing, you know. And yeah, I think people, which one of the reasons why I've got so much respect for what you do, because here you are, you know, you could just be going, well, I just want to work on Blade stuff, I just want to put my albums out, I just want people to hear me. But you don't. You've took a step back. You went, right, here's a platform. I've got a rep. I've done a lot of the things that I wanted to do. I maybe it's not done yet, but for the time being, what I want to do is open up a platform. And when you started the 521 thing, straight away I got in touch and I was like, mate, what can I do to help? Because I saw what you were doing.
Real.
I saw what you were doing, and I was like, that's where I feel like all of us at this point in our careers, that's where what we should be doing. You know, we're not going to live forever, but hip hop can.
Yeah.
So let's
our
make
duty
sure,
to make sure
that the next generation are invested in, they're not alienated. Hip hop sort of split a lot recently. You got a big generational divide. You've got a lot of old school heads.
isn't that what that's all about?
This is building bridges, man. Exactly.
Right, but just for clarity's sake, when we first saw that and the bridge, and we understood that you were trying to build a bridge to kind of lessen the gap,
Yeah.
so to speak, a lot of people thought that it was about the generational gap, but it's not just about that, is it? It's about, you know, the difference in different genres of music and bringing different...
The whole shebang, you know. So just kind of trying to make sure that people aren't... Look, we want to support the niche scenes, but we also don't want to see people disappear in niche kind of corners and be missed. So, you know, as much as same with Method Radio, we're kind of there, we're giving shows that the shows aren't valued by the number of listeners. We get some shows that get incredible numbers, we get some shows that get very few numbers, but all those shows are equally valued because of what they bring to the overall programming. And I think that's really important. You know, if we just base everything on what's popular, oh, well, this is good because it's popular, then the greatest musician ever would have been, you know, Robbie Williams or something. Do you know what I mean? That's not a way to judge how important something is culturally. You know, we don't play that sales game. What we play is this cool? Yeah. Is this fun? Is this exciting? Is this getting us excited? That's what's important. And the bridge was kind of all about that. So yeah, building bridges across the different niche subgenres, across the generations. You know, a lot of the old school heads were kind of really down on a lot of the younger ones. The younger ones who were kind of reinventing the music quite naturally. That's what they're going to do. But we're kind of losing touch with the roots of where hip hop would come from. And we thought, you know what, actually, everyone will benefit from everyone. You know, let the older ones teach the younger ones the origins, let the younger ones infuse the older ones with the new sounds and the new directions and the new technology. You know, everyone's got a lot to offer each other. We just sometimes forget that.
For future purposes, can artists get in touch with you in order to get on the lineup to events, or are you looking for people yourself?
Generally speaking, I have an idea when events come up who I want to be working with. We've got the next Lindisfarne's coming up in first weekend in September, 31st of August to the 3rd of September, and obviously the lineups for that are locked. I'm already looking at what I'm going to do next year. From October, November to December of this year, I'll be moving rapidly and locking that down so we can advertise them lineups from the new year. Obviously, I have my ears open. I have my own radio show, so I get submitted a lot of music, and that'll give us a lot of ideas as to who I want to be working with. But I'm also, very busy, so that I'm conscious that there is stuff I missed. So if people are out there and people think that they've got something that would be good for the Bridge or for Lindisfarne, you can get in touch. The website's methodlounge.com. You can find the email and contact details there. You can get in touch with us through WhatsApp via the website. So yeah, if you've got links, send us them over. Can I say, don't just send us an email, don't just send us like a YouTube link. If you want to get in touch, tell me about yourself, say hello, tell me what you do, tell me what excites you, tell me what things that you want to do, and then give me some examples of your work. I'll be honest, I get a lot of emails and I get a lot of messages. When a message pops up that's just a link, I ain't touching it, because I don't know what that is. If I don't know you and you send me a link, I ain't going to open it. So if you want me to check your links, say hello. That's important.
Earlier on, you mentioned creative matchmaking and bringing things together.
Yeah.
So now I would like to talk a little bit about the creative matchmaking and bringing things together.
Cool, man.
So, your belly with a Blaps burger.
Yeah, man.
Tell us about the Blaps burgers.
Well, I mean, anyone that knows that I love burgers. I always have done since I was a kid. I've got strict rules about burgers. I've got to be able to pick it up. If you go to a restaurant and someone serves you a burger with a knife and fork, I ain't a burger. I ain't eating a burger like that. Got to be able to pick it up. Bread's important. I don't want no crappy buns. Do you know what I mean? Make your own sauces, proper bread. Be imaginative. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with beef patty, bacon and cheese. I mean, that's the classic. Do you know what I mean? Bit of gherkin, ketchup, mustard. I'm happy with that.
So I reckon for future events, any artist that you get coming in, they have to get treated to that, starting with tonight with us, me and the cameraman.
Well, I mean, as I get older, the burgers become more and more my vice, I guess. And so I do tend to have started to incorporate it. It's so funny, man. Like it started off as a bit of a joke through lockdown, because I've always been into burgers and I've always worked with a lot of the local burger companies. But then in lockdown, I just started making burgers all the time, and I started on Instagram, just posting pictures of the burgers I was making. And then after lockdown, loads of the burger restaurants were like, "Oh yeah, come and take photos of our burgers." So I was doing that.
How do you find the time?
If there's no time for burgers, your priorities are wrong. Trust. So we've got a lot of local independents that get involved and not only sponsor and support the events, but will work with us and create collaborative menus. This weekend for the Bridge, we've got Feds, which is the fried chicken joint in town. They're doing an NFA burger because everyone wants to get NFA'd off the Feds. That's going to be running at the Graph Jam from the food truck there. We've got the Scranner's Arms, which is our spiritual home. They're going to be doing a hip-hop themed menu across the weekend. And the Meat Stack, which is, for my personal shout for burgers in the city centre. If you're in Newcastle city centre and you want a burger, Meat Stack's the place. We're going to be doing a takeover of their restaurant on the Sunday. We've got live hip-hop happening there. We've got vinyl DJs playing old school sets. And we've got the Bridge Burger, which I've designed with their chef. Big shout to Chaz. And yeah, it's incredible. It's a monster. So yeah, bring your wallets, but bring your appetites too.
It all connects.
Yeah, man.
Any other things you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I want to obviously have a big thank you to the Arts Council England. They've been, so supportive of everything we're doing. they've funded a big proportion of the Bridge Festival, but they've also been very supportive in helping Method Lounge get off the ground post-pandemic. Couldn't be where I am now without their support. Similarly, Inspired Support, who I deliver and mentor for, they've been really, really amazing at helping us find spaces to use and introducing us to people who are interested in the programs that I'm running. So yeah, big shouts to all those guys.
What else can I say apart from, look, thank you for putting this on, because it's an eye-opener. For anyone who doesn't know, make sure you check out The Bridge, okay? That's in Newcastle.
Well, you can check the socials, at Bridge Hip Hop UK, both Instagram and Facebook, same tag. Check that out. But yeah, buzzing to have you up here. What are you saying? Should we go for a burger?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Do this.
Fuck this interview shit. We're going.
Okay, I'll go too.